train rolling through, and the train is me, baby. I'm on the Underground 4 at 12:17 in the afternoon on a beautiful Monday morning. It's not the morning anymore. That's awkward. I'm not very good at times. I've never understood the difference between times, like afternoon to evening. Like, I've never understood where it changes from afternoon to evening. Turn that down a little bit. By a little bit, I mean all of it. I've never understood where it turns into afternoon to evening. Like, is there a certain time, or do you just kind of, call it that? Because, like, obviously afternoon is going to be, like, afternoon. Like, 12:01 and on. But isn't afternoon all the way up until the next day? Am I right? Or isn't afternoon all the way up until midnight the night after? Like, it's very vague. Like, I don't know why they don't call it afternoon dash till 5 o'clock. Is 5 o'clock the evening? Or people are like, yeah, I'm going to see a concert this evening. I mean, I don't know anybody with the class who says evening. I don't think that, people say evening for fun anymore. It's not really like a thing people say. They just say night or whatever. I feel like saying evening is really, like, classful. If you say evening, then you have a lot of class. I don't say evening. Yeah, but anyway, it is the afternoon. I mean, it's 19 minutes after 12. It's got to be afternoon considered. So, yeah, it's the afternoon. I do got to work at 2, so this is cutting it a little close. But I go get some Doba after this. Shout out to people who work there. Place is awesome. Yeah, I always get a pulled pork. I usually get a pulled pork burrito, but I'm really vibing with a bowl for today. If you guys ever been to Qdoba or Chipotle, Chipotle is gross though. Ugh. A Qdoba makes Chipotle look like I don't know, bad, which it is. So yeah, I'm gonna get some Chipotle after this, and I gotta pull a little 2 to 8 shift at the pizzeria. And then coming here at 8:30, back in the lab, doing a podcast down here with my boys, my BOYS, my boys, Nick Zappe and Max Baumgartner. Let's hear it for them for later. I haven't seen those dudes in forever. Kind of scared, if we're being honest. I think that they're gonna beat me up. And I'm told that Nick's got a surprise for me. I'm not really sure what the surprise is. I've got some hopes, fingers crossed. But I have no idea what it is. I'm a little scared, if we're being honest. But, hey, as long as it's a good podcast, that's all I care about, mate. That's all I care about, mate. Just have a good podcast over here with the boys in the Underground 4, man. Am I right or am I right? That's why you guys listen to this. If you guys listen to this. But, yeah. Monday, Monday. First letter of Monday is M. What the first letter of MMA is? M. You know who hosted an awesome event this weekend? The UFC. You know what sport that is? MMA. So you know what this show's gonna be about? It's about weekly MMA show, baby. The Underground Knee, baby. The Underground KNEE. That's what we're doing. Yeah. UFC 250 was this past weekend. And, for it being main evented by Amanda Nunes, which I'll get to that in a second, this was a phenomenal card. This card did so much for a lot of divisions, especially bantamweight and featherweight. Really established not featherweight, but there wasn't one good fight on a featherweight. But yeah, this entire card, not entire card, but the main part of this card was for the bantamweight division. And I learned that this bantamweight division is even more stacked than I thought it was. If we're being honest, bantamweight, lightweight, and welterweight are probably the best divisions. I can easily say that is true. And if you don't agree, then that is your own stupidity, not mine. Sorry. But yeah, UFC 250 was a phenomenal event, dude. Phenomenal. I I knew that it was going to be a good card just because of the people who were on it, but I did not know that it was going to be this good. I'll kind of run through it a little bit. Herbert Burrs beat Evan Dunham. That's Gilbert's little brother. Dude, the Burns family are beasts, dude. The Burns family are beasts. I think Gilbert Burns beats Kamaru Usman. I hope he does, too. I think that he will. It's only a matter of time. Kamaru, sign those papers July 11th. You sure you want a date? You ever seen him on with Masvidal? I wouldn't want to fight Masvidal either. He's a nice guy. But, like, I'd fight him for, like, a couple $1 million. Unlike some people who won't fight anybody. Come on, Usman. Devin Clark beat Monfield. I think Devin Clark was the one who took a knee, didn't he? Respect. And he went there and won. Alex Perez defeat Formiga. I didn't see that coming. I thought Formiga was gonna win. And now we're on to the fights that I actually watched. Charles Byrd, he's one of the Contender Series dudes. He lost. But that Maki Pitolo dude, that dude made his UFC debut at UFC 243 in Melbourne in front of 60,000 people. Now he's fighting in front of 0. That dude, it didn't change. That dude's a beast. Watch out for him at I think that's 7. Is that 70 or 85? I think it's 85. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. And now we get into one of the main things I wanted to talk about. The next fight up. My boy Cody Stamann. Cody Stamann, baby! Beat Brian Kelleher in the greatest performance that Cody Stamann has had in his career yet. It was a unanimous decision, 30-27, 30-27, 30-27 on all the cards. And he beat a game dude like Brian Kelleher. I like Brian Kelleher. I love Cody Stamann. I hate when two of my favorite fighters fight, but when Cody Stamann had to go through with what he went through this week, this is I know that this meant a super ton to Cody, and it meant a super ton to a lot of people for being his entire family. I guarantee just seeing him have the guts, have the grit to go out there and just fight. And just fight, dude. All he had to do was show up, and he's already surpassing everybody's expectations. But rather than just show up, Stamann goes out there and has the greatest performance of his career. Once the fight was over, he posted a picture on Instagram of him and his team, and he captioned it "against all odds." And I really like that. I really like that because, if we're being honest, Cody was against all odds. It's a short notice fight against a game guy in that guy's. It's not really his division. He's a 35er, but he fought at 45 last time too, and he accepted the fight. And he had like 2 weeks to fight, and then after like a week, I think it was May 27th, he found out his little brother died. It's crazy, man. It's crazy to think that kid, that Jacob Stamann, was only a couple months older than me. It doesn't make sense. I can't imagine what the Stamann family are going through right now. I don't want to imagine it. That would be terrible. I couldn't deal with that. There's no way I could show up to a fight, stay focused, and put on the best performance of my career with that in the back of my head. I would be so focused on everything else that's going on around in my life. But Cody went out there, man, and he made his brother proud. I know his brother's smiling down at him after that performance. My favorite part about that fight was the end. As soon as the clock hit 0, all the emotions came out, and it was really nice to see what the fight did for Cody. It helped him, pause his gravy a little bit. It helped him to not focus on probably the worst thing that's ever happened in his life at that moment. But as soon as that fight was over, because I'm pretty sure we all knew he won. It was pretty obvious. I thought all 3 rounds. The 3rd round was iffy, but I gave it to him. I thought it was 30-27. And to see all that emotion pour out after he won that fight, it almost made me tear up. And I'm watching it at Jet's Pizza because I had to work, and I was like, "Yo, can I change the channel real quick?" Because I knew that Cody was gonna have a fight at 8:30. I turned it on, watched that entire fight. I'm surprised they didn't mess up any orders, for being honest, 'cause I wasn't paying much attention to the orders coming in. But Cody got it done, man, and I started screaming in the pizzeria. I got a lot of weird looks, but whatever. Whatever, man. Cody Stamann is a beast. That fight was at 145. Now, Cody Stamann is a 35er. In the post-fight interview, Joe Rogan asked him, like, hey, I know this is a hard cut to get to 35. Is 145 your home? And Cody kind of just, like, said that 135 is a lot of smaller dudes. And Cody Stamann's just known, he's a normal-sized 135er. If he goes to 45, with all due respect, I'm not saying he's a bad fighter. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying he's really undersized for 45, If or I shouldn't say if, when he makes it to the top, he's going to have to fight these huge, big dudes like Max Holloway. It's a horrible matchup. Then you got Stamann, then you got Holloway. Holloway's huge compared to him. So I do like the idea of him staying at 35. Who I'd like to see him fight next? A Sun Tzu, maybe? A Sun Tzu or Jimmy Rivera. Those would be some good fights. Cody's at 12 at 135. And, I'm not sure how the rankings work, but, he got to win at 45. So maybe his stock will go up and at 35 just because he won that fight and he reiterated, this is my my weight division. So, yeah. Shout out to Cody Stamann, man. I couldn't do it. You're bigger than me. Next, we had Ian Heinisch and Gerald Meerschaert. Heinisch knocked him out. Straight up. Then we had Lil Askren, Chase Hooper fought Alex Caceres. If you don't know who Chase Hooper is, he's the youngest kid on the UFC roster. He's 20 years old, and if you've never seen me in person, you can't really tell, but he's built like me. He's tall, he's skinny, and he's not very muscular, but that dude can hit hard. That dude packs a punch. That dude made his UFC debut at 19 years old. I'm 18, and I run a podcast. What does that tell you? You take it for what it's worth, but he's in the UFC at 20 years old, and he's headlining an ESPN prelim card, and I'm in my basement freezing, making a podcast. But Chase Hooper lost to Alex Caceres. Caceres is one of the dudes who's, I think his record's about 16, 12-1 or something like that. He's not really a good fighter, but back when he first started, Alex Caceres was just like Chase Hooper. He was a young dude who the entire world was happy for because he was so young, and then he kind of got pushed into stuff too quick because of his name and because of the stuff, or not because of the stuff, because of the brand he built for himself being the youngest dude, and he kind of paid the punishment for it. His record isn't very good, but his record doesn't actually show how good of a fighter he is. He's an awesome fighter. It's not his fault that he got pushed too young. A lot of those losses are from when he's young. He just didn't get the chance to grow, which I think that's what happened with Darren Till. And that's what Sean O'Malley, who I'm about to talk about, is trying to avoid. Sean O'Malley's a genius, man. Dude's a beast. He doesn't want to get pushed in to a fight that he knows he's not ready for. He's 12-0 now. He doesn't want to ruin his perfect zero for nothing. Because that's what the UFC did with Darren Till. Nobody really knew who Darren Till was. Obviously people knew, but not many people knew who he was. Then he gets thrown in against Cowboy, knocks him out in the first round, and what's his next fight? It was something really hard. Oh yeah, his next fight was Stephen Thompson, who's most overrated fighter in the world. Don't get me started. And all right, Tyron Woodley, what? He beats one top guy and he gets a title shot? and he got absolutely obliterated. And then he fought Masvidal, he got absolutely obliterated. And then he kind of took some time off, made some time for himself, and he figured out what kind of fighter he was. And now he's a beast at 85. I love Darren Till. I love Darren Till, man. I love Darren Till. If you don't, then you don't like anything. Main card, baby. Sean O'Malley. The Sugar Show is here, baby. The Sugar Show is here. It's right here. It's happening. It's happening right before our very own eyes. That dude's a beast. That dude has the potential to be the next. I shouldn't say the next Conor McGregor because I don't know if he's got the attitude for it. But he's got got a chance to be the next Israel Adesanya. No, he's just a fighter who, maybe he doesn't have a great personality. Or no, wrong word. Maybe he doesn't have a great attitude, doesn't sell fights very well. Or, I shouldn't say very well, because Stylebender does sell fights good. But Stylebender doesn't have the it factor. He doesn't have the get in your face like Conor McGregor does. No, Conor McGregor's got all the antics he used to do. I don't think Sean O'Malley or Stylebender would do that. But Sean O'Malley's absolutely phenomenal, dude. It's unreal what that dude's got in his hands. Sure, he beat Eddie Wineland, which, I know that's not a awesome win anymore. That dude used to be a beast, but he's old. Happens. Next for him, man, I'm looking at the rankings. Marlon Vera or Song Yadong, maybe, so that he can finally get a top 15. He's ready for top 15. He's ready for top 15. He's ready for top 3, for being honest. No, throw Corey Sandhagen in against him. I'll get to that in a minute. I'd like to see that fight. I think Sean O'Malley's got. I saw a tweet on the broadcast saying Sean O'Malley has a nice chance to be a nice superstar, and I fully agree with that. 100%, I agree with that. There aren't many fighters like Sean O'Malley. He's got rainbow hair. He's got weird-looking tattoos. He tells Joe Rogan he loves him every interview. Like, what's there not to like about the guy? All his merch is cool. He's just a good guy. He's a fun dude. I was supposed to see him fight in Houston, but that fight got canceled. That was just, you want to talk about disappointing? That was disappointing. Kept moving to the card over. I was like, come on. I want to see Sugar Show. I want to see the Sugar Show, man. Come on. Come on, man. This is the only fight I didn't watch on the main card. Neil Magny and Anthony Rocco Martin. Now that I'm reading this, I just learned that Neil Magny won that fight. I do not like Neil Magny. He's the most overrated fighter in the world. He gets put against big names and just loses. So he gets Anthony Rocco Martin. Who is that? I don't know. Why is that on the main card? I don't know. I don't like Neil Magny. Neil Magny doesn't like me. Moving on. We had the title eliminator at 135. 135, like I said earlier, that's probably second, maybe first best division in the entire company. You got Marlon Moraes, Aljamain Sterling, Peter Yan, Corey Sandhagen, Rafael Sunsao, Jose Aldo, Pedro Munoz, Jimmy Rivera, Cody Garbrandt, Rob Font, Dominic Cruz, Cody Simmons, John Dodson, Song Yadong, Marlon Vera, Sugar Sean O'Malley. What's there not to like about it, dude? Do you hear the names on there? Do you hear the amount of fun fights? The amount of fun fights that can be made right there? I'm tapping my foot just thinking about all the awesome fights. I know that we do have Peter Yan versus Jose Aldo for the belt. Don't ask me. I'm not a matchmaker. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's upsetting to me that Jose Aldo never wins a fight at 35. It's not a one-fight losing streak at 35, and he gets a title shot over Aljamain Sterling, who's been in the game forever. He's on, a 4 or 5 fight win streak. He's a beast. He deserves a title shot. And yeah, that's how this got brought up. Aljamain Sterling versus Corey Sandhagen. Aljo, dude. Matt Serra, Ray Luongo, Ally Quinta. What have you built, dude? What have you built, man? You built a beast. That's what you built. A beast. Since that Moraes fight, dude's a changed man. Absolutely changed man. Aljamain Sterling is phenomenal. I don't think he's the best bantamweight in the world. I'll get to that in a second. But I think that he's top 3. He's an absolute beast. Striking, on the ground. He'll tap you out. He tapped out Corey Sandhagen in a minute 30. What? What? If being honest, I wanted Aljo to win this fight. I thought Sandhagen was going to dismantle him. Guess I was wrong. Corey Sandhagen, he was at 4. Aljo was at 2. I don't see why Aljo shouldn't be 1 now. I mean, last person Marlon Moraes beat was a fight that I thought was pretty obvious he lost. But that's not for me to decide. I'm not a judge for a reason. Sandhagen was at 4. And this brings me up into my next thing. Match him up with Cody Garbrandt, baby. What are you doing, UFC? Corey versus Cody? Cory, Cody. Match that fight up. Cody Garbrandt. No Love is back, baby. Team No Love till the day I die, dude. Team No Love till the day I die. Cody Garbrandt is back, dude. I will admit that first round, dude. That first round, I was starting to tap my foot a little bit, man. I was like, all right, he's landed 7 punches. Like, all right, I know that you're a knockout artist, Cody, but you got to do something, man. If you want to knock him out, you got to land some punches. Don't just go for the 1-punch knockout. And then the second round's about to end. I see a weird little knee exchange. I'm like, okay, what was that? Then boom, he's on the. I didn't even see it, dude. I blinked and I was like, what? He's on the ground. What? He's dead. What? Cody Garbrandt's back. 135 should be scared. 135 should be scared. Cody Garbrandt is the pound for pound best 135er. He hasn't had to wrestle in a fight in so long, but people forget how good his wrestling is and how good his striking is. Name one time that Cody Garbrandt has looked vulnerable. The only time he looked, I shouldn't say that. Name one time he looked vulnerable in this fight. The changes he made in however many years he was off. What was it? 2? Yeah. In the 2 years he's off, were phenomenal. He started working with Mark Henry and all the guys in New York, and he really emphasized his game. He's not the one dude who, as soon as he kind of rocks somebody, he's going for the kill. And that's what I love to see that out of Cody, because he is the best 135er in my eyes. He's got the most pound-for-pound potential. And it pained me to see all those times. The 2 against TJ. TJ was cheating. TJ cheated. Those losses should be taken away. TJ shouldn't be allowed back in the UFC. That dude's a piece of garbage. He's a good fighter. Or I think he's a good fighter. I don't really know. You just have to see once he's off EPO. But it pained me to see him lose that Pedro Munoz fight. It really did. Because that was a fight I was like, all right, he's back in the game. This is a win. And he had that fight, man. He's got way too over-aggressive. Again, all 3 of his losses were by the exact same punch. The exact same combinations, the exact same exchanges, the exact same punch. Every single time. It hurt me every single time, knowing that you get the best 135er, the champ, and he gets destroyed by these because of his impatience. But now that he's with a different team, I shouldn't say he's with different teams, he's still at Alpha Male, but he's getting help from Mark Henry. I should say that this new Cody 2.0, should have every 135-pounder scared. Because he was a champ when he wasn't good. I mean, obviously he was good. He beat Dominic Cruz. Like that, what does that say? But this new Cody, this is the full Cody. That fight, you saw a Cody who was prime, composed, strong, big, and he was just having fun. And my favorite part about that fight is as soon as he landed the punch, instead of celebrating, all he did was just put his arm up, and that should make every single 35-pounder scared. One punch is all it takes from him, and he is quick, dude. Like I said, I didn't even see the punch coming. I blinked and I'm like, Sun's House on the ground. What? What? That dude is quick. He's powerful. He's strong. Cody, why do I keep saying that? Cody Garbrandt is going to be champ by this time next year. That's me congratulating myself for saying that. I guarantee it. Guaranteed. I say they match him up with Corey Sandhagen. They do Jan versus Aldo for the belt. Jan wins. Sterling, Jan belt. Sterling wins. Sterling, Garbrandt. Sterling versus Garbrandt would be a good fight. I'd love to see that fight. That'd be an awesome fight. I'd love to see Cody have a fight that goes to the ground a lot. I shouldn't say a lot, but I'd love to see him get tested on the ground. He never really had the fight on the ground at all. Recently, at least. So, I think that him on the ground would be awesome. Next for a Sunsao, I say match him up with Cody Stamann. Give Stamann a top 8 or whatever he's going to be. I think his Sunsao was 5. Probably be like 8 now. Cody Stamann's at 12. If they let him jump, he'll jump to like 11. Let's do it 8 versus 11. Why not? I love that fight. I love that fight. I would love that fight. It'd be a big fight for Stamann. And then if he won, or I shouldn't say if, when he wins, he'll get promoted to the next guy, and the next guy, and the next guy, and the next guy, until he's champ. And then I'd love to see. I hope eventually one day, it would be my favorite fight. I shouldn't say my favorite fight, but it'd be one of my favorite fights possible. Cody Stamann versus Cody Garbrandt for the belt. Let's see who the best Cody at 135 is. Because I think that those two are the best 35ers. The best all-around 35ers. Say what you want, but whatever. My podcast, my rules. My opinions, not yours. Yeah, I think the best 35ers are Stamann, Garbrandt, Sterling. That's all you gotta say about that. And then the main event, I don't know what you guys expected. Amanda Nunes, obliteration. I almost turned it off. I'm like, okay, this is over. This isn't fun to watch. I don't know what I'm even watching. I'm watching the greatest of all time spar. It was a sparring session. That's all it was. It was a sparring session. She obliterated her, dude. She made Felicia Spencer look like she'd never fought before in her life. Felicia Spencer's got some heart, though, dude. She's got some heart to go out there 5 rounds with Amanda Nunes. I don't know how she didn't get knocked out in the first round, dude. Those were some heavy shots. I think a lot of them would have dropped everybody else. Felicia Spencer's got a lot of heart, man. For her to keep... I thought that they were going to stop the fight in between the 4th and the 5th. I mean, it's whatever. They didn't. Who cares? It is a lot more prideful. I go to a decision than get stopped by a doctor or stopped by a coroner. So shout out to Felicia Spencer for that. Next for Amanda Nunes, dude. Don't ask me. If you, a lot of people are gonna say Anderson. Sure, why not? Do it. Okay, have Amanda Nunes go out there and destroy somebody. There's really nothing else. The only fights that make sense are her and Valentina again. But Dana White says that he doesn't want to do that fight again, which doesn't make sense to me. It makes zero sense to me. Make that fight. Make that fight. People want to see that fight. Amanda Nunes isn't going to sell a fight at all, except that fight. There's no fight to sell. There's no way that Amanda Nunes can sell a fight against Megan Anderson. Maybe if it's a co-main event, but not a main event. It won't sell. Nobody wants to see a what's the word? A spotlighted sparring session. Like, that's all this was. She's the greatest of all time, and she's fighting people who look like and she makes people who, these good fighters, look like they've never fought a day in their life. She's the greatest of all time. There's no doubt about that. You won't change my mind. Shout out to Amanda Nunes. But yeah. Great card. Great card. I loved it. At first, I was a little iffy. I was like, oh my God, Amanda Nunes and Felicia Spencer headlining. I mean, sure, it wasn't a fun main event. It wasn't an awesome fight. It was a bona fide slaughter fest. But the entire card was awesome top to bottom. It had some great fights, and it highlighted the 135 division. And even though Cody Stamann and Brian Kelleher were at 45, that was a 35 fight. So, UFC 250, man. Awesome. Shout out to Dana White. Just gonna get in a little bit of retirement talk. UFC's got to do something soon. They have to do something soon. They can't keep putting up with their four, probably their biggest money makers, saying that they want to retire because they don't want to fight with this contract. Conor, Jones, Masvidal, Cejudo. It's no secret that they all retired right around this time. I shouldn't say Masvidal retired, but he's upset. He's like, yo, cut me. Like, why should I fight for you guys? You guys aren't giving me what I deserve. I know I'm the greatest. So pay me like I'm the greatest. Masvidal sells fights, dude. Masvidal sells fights like Conor. He won't sell a fight like Conor, but he is the only, it goes Conor, a ton of nothing, and Masvidal. Masvidal is the number 2 bestseller out there right now. And the UFC needs to make him happy. They need to make him happy. They need Jorge Masvidal. They need Jon Jones. They don't need Henry Cejudo, but I want Henry Cejudo. And they need Conor McGregor. They need him. Dana White's going to pay him whatever he wants. And I don't even think it's about the money in the fight for Conor. Conor wants stake in the UFC, which is why Conor's awesome. Why he's awesome. Because rather than ask for money up front, he's going to ask for a little bit up front, but he's going to have that little bit forever, more than just one fight. Conor's a genius. Conor's one of those dudes who, although he's not liked by everybody, he's building an awesome name for himself. He's building a greater life for everybody. He's got his whiskey. He's the best fight seller in the world. He wants stake in the UFC, and Dana White loves the dude. He's going to give him stake in the UFC. I don't doubt it. 100% he is. Conor McGregor is a genius. He is so good with money. Conor McGregor is to money what Dana White is to promoting. Just legends. Legends. Conor McGregor is the 16th highest paid athlete. He's fought one time over the past 2 years. One time, and he's the second highest paid athlete. He's up there with Wilder and Fury. These boxers. That's why I love MMA, dude. That's why I wish the UFC would pay him. Because the MMA is bigger than boxing. But yet Wilder, Fury, who else? Wilder, Fury, Lomachenko, Golovkin, Alvarez. All these people are getting paid tons more than they are. I think Alvarez made, $30 million for his last fight against somebody who he obliterated? Jon Jones is the greatest of all time. He deserves a fat paycheck. A fat paycheck. $20 million. Give it to him. I know he's asking for 30. Give him $20 million and he'll be happy. I guarantee it. Jon Jones deserves a big fight. Cejudo, I don't know if he's good, but he doesn't promote fights. He's not a very good fight promoter. He doesn't get buys. I don't know if he deserves. I mean, sure, throw $5 million at him. Have him come back. People like to see him fight. It'll draw some buys, especially if it's him versus Aljo. Him versus TJ too would sell awesome. Him versus Volkanovski, he's calling for quadruple C, which I don't know if I don't want to hear that. I don't think he beats Volkanovski, but whatever. Yeah, I don't know if Cejudo deserves a big money fight. Masvidal, he deserves one, dude. He's a superstar. You guys should have seen the line at Hooters in Texas, dude. It was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. If you would have told Dana White that there would have been a line that long for one of his fighters 20 years ago, he would have called you a buffoon. A buffoon. It was unreal. Masvidal is one of the fan favorite fighters in the UFC. People love to see him fight. People who don't even watch UFC, my friends, they don't really watch UFC. They know who Jorge Masvidal is. They're like, oh, the dude with the knee. That's what he's remembered for. That is forever going to be a picture that the UFC is going to brand themselves with. As soon as he lands that knee, what is it? I mean, it was a 5-second knockout, but that's just because I think it was Jason Herzog couldn't get there quick enough. He landed that knee in 3 seconds. So that's forever going to be an infamous picture for the UFC. I shouldn't say infamous because infamous is like a bad thing. But it's forever going to help the UFC grow. That is important. That picture is going to help the UFC promote for the rest of their lives. Pay Masvidal. Pay him. Oh, that hurt. Ow, that hurt. Ow. Sorry. Pay him. I want to see Masvidal Conor. I do. I think that fight sells more than Conor Diaz 3. I think Conor runs through Diaz the third time. Diaz he's just too beaten up. No, I saw what happened with the Masvidal fight. He's just too beaten up, man. He's got so much scars, so much scar tissue, and I don't think that he'll be able to last 5 with Conor. I think Conor would knock him down in the second, or I think he'd knock him down in the first, and then I think he'd finish him in the second. You know, I think that Nate's getting up there with Dominic Cruz. Like, all right, he's awesome. Great, he's one of the best. But he's getting old. No, he's damaged. I think that Nate's going to start losing fights if he a little bit more if he continues to fight. Which I don't know if he will. I don't know if he will because Nate Diaz wants money too. He wants money. Everybody wants money. The UFC's got the money. Pay the fighters, man. The fighters should form a union. Pay the fighters, man. Pay them. Pay them, please. Please pay the fighters. I want to see Masvidal. Do Masvidal Conor. Give them each $100 million. And just shut them up. Like, say you give them each $100 million. That's $200 million. I mean, I know I know Masvidal's not getting $200 million. Maybe he'll get something way less than that. But let's just say it. No, actually, I'm not even going to say $100 million because Conor didn't even get that for the Cowboy fight. Let's say they each get $50 million. Let's say they each get $50 million. Calculator. So, in total, that's 100. Oh, I hate this stupid computer. So, that's 100 million divided by $67 of pay-per-view. Oh, wait. That would actually need to get a lot of buys. I would need a lot of buys. That would need to get 1.5 million buys. Disregard what I just said. That's a lot of money. But fact of the matter is Masvidal's not getting 50 million. You know, have them fight. Make them each happy. Those two fighting, and those two in a fight would be one of the greatest spectacles in the UFC's history. That will go down as one of the fights that the people who don't know UFC will watch. My mom will watch that fight. I guarantee there'll be a party somewhere. Conor McGregor's fighting that dude with the knee. No way, can I come? Yeah, bring some people. You know, we'll have a good time. We'll party it up. Watch some fights. People don't know anything. Random people. My mom would watch that fight. Probably not at the house, but she'd watch the fight. It's the same thing with the Conor McGregor Floyd Mayweather fight. She watched that fight. She doesn't know anything. She's like, oh, Conor McGregor, that's the kid that Keegan likes, right? Yeah, cool. Watched him lose, but whatever. That was a bad night. So yeah, the UFC's got to pay these dudes, man. They've got to pay these dudes. The UFC can't go on without probably their 4 biggest names. I mean, not their 4, but I mean, I guess Khabib's a little bit bigger than Cejudo, but Khabib's not in it for the money. But Khabib is rich. He made a ton of money off that Conor fight. He made a ton of money off that Poirier fight. He probably would have made a ton of money off that Ferguson fight. Pay these dudes. Pay them. Pay him. This weekend, we got Jessica Eye versus Cynthia Calvillo. Woo! Let's hear it for that fight. Yeah, same. Um, what the UFC was thinking when they put this together, I don't know. I'm not a matchmaker for a reason. This is a 5-round fight. I don't know. It makes no sense to me. I'm not complaining. At least we get to watch fights, even though they don't make sense. Every single other fight on here is better. Mark De La Rosa is on the main card. That's the one chick's husband. Andre Fili, that dude's a beast. Team Alpha Male forever. So, it's here for Team Alpha Male. I hope Fili wins. I love those. That's my favorite team. I love those guys. Ray Borg. He's back already? Jeez. Ray Borg versus the, I don't even know how to say his last name. Marab. I'll just say Marab. Yeah. Ray Borg versus Marab. The, what's that show called? Looking for a fight guy with Matt Serra, Ray Longa. That's where he trains. That dude's a beast. That'll be a good fight. I hope Marab wins that fight. Then in the co-main event, Carl Robertson versus Marvin Vettori. I think Marvin Vettori is the one who lost to Stylebender. He should be. Yep. Right? Yeah. That was a split decision, dude. What? I don't even remember that. I don't even remember that. That's crazy. It's crazy that on one judge's scorecard, he beat the champ, and now he's fighting these nobodies. I mean, I shouldn't say Carl Robertson's a nobody, because they don't like each other, man. This fight was supposed to happen on the Tony Gaethje card, I think, and it didn't happen, and because I think Carl Robertson got sick or something. I don't think he had the coronavirus, but he got sick, and so yeah, so there's a lot of bad blood between the two, and so I think that'll be a good fight. Hopefully, there's a knockout, and then the main event you got Calvillo Jessica. Why? I don't know. All the women's divisions are bad right now. They're terrible right now. They're horrible. They're horrible. Because there's 4 divisions manned by 3 women who are all the greatest. The only person who's going to beat Weili is Joanna, who lost. Joanna lost. Who's going to beat Valentina? Who's going to beat Amanda? Who's going to beat Amanda at 145? Nobody. I feel bad. It is so bad for all the people not named Zhang Weili, not named Valentina Shevchenko, not named Amanda Nunes, not named Amanda Nunes at 45 either. It's a monopoly, certified monopoly. And I guess Thug Rose maybe she got the best chance at 15. I think that's 15. That's strawweight. She's got the best chance because Joanna almost beat Zhang, and Rose beat Joanna twice. Pretty good. So I guess that we'll just have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see how this plays out. Michelle Waterson's up there with them. Jessica Andrade, Rose Namajunas, obviously, Joanna. But I don't see any of those champs losing anytime soon. But that's all we got for today, man. It's 1 o'clock. You gotta work in 59 minutes. I still gotta get my bowl from Doba. So gotta little hit the hay RQ. So yeah, I'm gonna be back at 8:30 with my boy Nick Zapay and Max Baumgarten. Talk a little wrestling. I haven't seen those dudes in forever. I kind of forget what they look like, if we're being a little bit honest. And yeah, I haven't seen those dudes in forever. So we're gonna have some great conversations, catch up a little bit, and you'll be able to hear us catch up. I was told by Nick that he's surprised for me. I'm a little scared. Guess we get to see it all together at once. Hopefully I don't get beat up. That would suck. But I love those dudes. They wouldn't beat me up, I don't think. Anyway, we got a card night this week coming up. Card after that. And then we got Dustin Poirier in 3 weeks. UFC's back, baby. Sports are back. I think restaurants opened up in Michigan today. I haven't really checked. I think they did, though. It's Monday, right? Yeah. It's got to be doing the Underground MMA show. Thanks for listening. I'll see you guys next Monday.